Hello, everybody. My name is Jax James, and I am the State Policy Manager here at NORML. And I wanted to connect with you guys today on all of the voting things that are going on everywhere. So in a lot of states, voter registration deadline is approaching or has passed. For example, here in Texas, it just recently passed. Deadline to register to vote has closed. Additionally, early voting is coming up in a lot of states as well. So you'll see in the description of this live stream today, we have created a how to prepare link and blog post for you guys. And there you'll be able to find out how to check your voter registration to make sure you are registered to vote. And then if voter registration is still open in your state, where you can go and make sure you're registered to vote. There's also information about finding the polling places in your state. So once early voting does start, you can go find a polling place near you to make sure that you are going out and getting out the vote. Additionally, we've included some information about our voters guide, Smoke the Vote. As y'all know, we released it a few weeks back. We've been continuing to send the surveys out to candidates, update quotes and voting records and any information that were sent to us so that we can have it as up to date as possible for you guys. Me and Jake, who I work with here at NORML, we're going to be going through all of the governors and lieutenant governors again as early voting is approaching, and making sure that we still agree with all of those ratings on there. So we did rate them when we first released the Smoke the Vote guide, and we just want to make sure that everything is still in place as early voting gets together. So everything on there is being kept super up to date. Also, thanks to the help of our lovely interns who have been doing inputting and our chapter leaders who have also been doing moderating. We have a great number of quotes, voting records, position statements, responses to our survey. So definitely go check that out. Additionally, there are 5 states and several localities that are going to be addressing the issues of cannabis law reform. And I wanted to make sure that you guys had the link available to check out our Election Central. That is where you're going to find all of the information on the state and local initiatives. Of course, we've got constitutional amendment in Arkansas. It's called issue 4. In Maryland, there will be question 4, which is technically a referendum. It will be before the voters, and then legislation will be enacted to put the framework in place. In Missouri, there is amendment 3. In North Dakota, there's measure 2. And in South Dakota, there is initiated measure 27. So if you live in any of those states, I encourage you to go to Election Central, and you can find all of the details on the official language, the organizations that are spearheading the effort, etc. Also, there are some local election efforts. In Colorado, there's several cities that will be addressing different items. Like Colorado Springs will decide on a pair of local ordinances on whether to allow adult use and then further how to tax it. Cripple Creek, Colorado will also be deciding if they will allow marijuana retailers in the city. And then there's one that we oppose in Lamar, Colorado. It's ballot question 300, and it would reaffirm and strengthen the ban on retailers, and it would limit local possession even further. There is an effort that we support and oppose in Michigan. In Brighton, they will decide to allow for retail sales. And in Lapeer, there will be a ballot measure that seeks to repeal the existing marijuana legislation, which means that if it passed, it would likely shut down the city's current operating dispensaries. A third effort in Michigan, sorry, there's 3 there. I missed this one, but it was also Petoskey, which would overturn the existing ban. So we do support that. In Granite County, Montana, there will be 3 initiatives, and one, if approved, would repeal the county-wide moratorium on adult use marijuana sales. And then in Ohio, there are quite a few local areas that are working on decriminalization. There's over 24 local municipalities that have taken these depenalization efforts, and now more are looking to join their ranks. As you know, earlier this year in May, Rhode Island uh, passed their legalization law, and it does allow for certain localities to vote to opt in or out of participating in the program. And there are almost 40 cities that will be voting on that in Rhode Island. And then in my state of Texas, there are 5 cities that are working to depenalize under the home rule cities uh, proposition. Basically, in Texas, you have to go through the legislature, but in home rule cities, they can pass additional regulations or laws as long as it's not explicitly prohibited. And that's going to be Denton, Elgin, Harker Heights, Killeen, and San Marcos. So I'm going to come over to the comments real quick. Hello, everybody. We've got some people from Texas watching. Love it. Awesome. Okay, so just to reiterate, you guys, it is coming down to voter crunch time. In your state, please make sure that you are registered to vote, and then make sure that you know where your polling places are and when early voting happens. Early voting is nice because you can kind of do it on your schedule. But if you happen to not be able to participate in early voting, of course, Election Day is on November 8th. And so I encourage all of y'all to go to our Smoke the Vote. You put in your zip code there, and it will bring up all of the people that are your legislators, and you'll be able to take a look at how they've been graded, what are their positions, what are some of their quotes, have they got an existing record on supporting or not supporting different legislation. So I just want to emphasize that the Smoke the Vote tool is a really robust tool that will help you based on your zip code, and therefore you can get all of the candidate information and make sure that when you're at the ballot box, whether it be early voting or on election day, that you are fully informed on how the candidates stand on the cannabis issue. So I want to encourage all of y'all to click that first link in the live stream description. Why was that a tongue twister? I don't know. Check out that blog, and it's got all the links that you'll need for voter registration, polling, Smoke the Vote, so you know where your legislator stands. And then if you happen to be in one of those states or localities, you'll also find information on those efforts. Now, I also want to point out that if you would like to make a donation to NORML to help us through this effort, through the election cycle, there is a lot going on in a lot of different states for us to monitor. And I hope that you will take the opportunity to support us either through a one-time donation, by becoming a member, or maybe even checking out a chapter near you and volunteering some time leading up to this election cycle. So on that note, my friends, I am going to bid you a fond farewell, and I hope that you all have a really amazing weekend. It's going to be hopefully nice here in Texas this weekend. Like maybe it'll only be 90, you guys. Anyways, have a wonderful weekend. Make sure you check out our Smoke the Vote guide so that you know where all the candidates stand on the cannabis issues. Take care, guys.